नमस्कार दोस्तों, आज का टॉपिक है TDS, टैक्स डिडक्टेड एट सोर्स. Now we'll understand what exactly the TDS is. Introduction. The concept of TDS was introduced with an aim to collect tax from the very source of income. As per this concept, a person, deductor, who is liable to make payment of specified nature to any other person, deductee, shall deduct tax at source and remit the same into the account of the central government. The deductee from whose income tax has been deducted at source would be entitled to get credit of the amount so deducted on the basis of Form 26AS or TDS certificate issued by the deductor. Okay, so this is what about the introduction about TDS. In the previous video we have seen and understood about why tax is important and it is necessary. So TDS means tax deducted at source is a procedure implemented by the Indian government to collect taxes at source of income. TDS is one kind of advance tax. It is a tax that is to be deposited with the government periodically, and the deductor is responsible for making the deposit on time. For the deductee, the deducted TDS can be claimed in the form of a tax refund after they file their ITR. Now we'll learn the TDS applications on income sources. TDS deduction is applicable to such of the following income sources. For example, salary, commission earned, rent, interest payment by banks, professional or consultant fees, contractor payments, amount under LIC, compensation on acquiring immovable property, brokerage or commission, insurance commission, interest on securities, remuneration paid to the director of a company, winning from games like crossword puzzle, card, lottery, etc., interest apart from interest on securities, deemed dividend, transfer of immovable properties. So, in short, TDS deduction rules necessitate tax payment when a taxpayer gets payment due or receives actual payment, whichever is earlier. Let's look at a few examples to understand TDS meaning better with its application. For example, assume Mr. Paul is a self-employed professional and who got paid rupees 40,000 as advance and received another 20,000 after completion of work. In this scenario, the pay will deduct TDS from advance rupees 4,000, that is 10% of 40,000, and the rest of the 2,000, that is 10% of 20,000. The total payable taxable amount will be 6,000. Now we'll learn about different forms. Different TDS certificates are issued against different TDS forms. So in detail we'll understand later, but a brief we'll understand and we'll try to give information about what exactly and how many types of forms are there. Form 16, Form 16A, 16B, 16C and many more. Due dates of different forms like first quarter 1st April to 30th June, last date of filing 31st July. Second quarter 1st July to 30th September, means last date of filing 31st October. Third quarter 1st October to 31st December, last date of filing 31st January. And the last but not least, fourth quarter 1st January to 31st March, and the last date of filing of TDS be around 31st May. Now, any delay in tax deduction will be subjected to a penalty of 1% interest per month until the sum is deducted. In case the person responsible for TDS deduction fails to do so, they are likely to be restricted from ascertaining the taxable profit from the total expenditure. There are certain rules and regulations regarding TDS payment. Taxpayers are required to pay the taxable sum to the Government of India. The most important point is TDS refundable? So the answer is TDS refund arises when the tax amount deducted is higher than the actual tax liability. It is calculated after consolidating income earned from various sources. At the time of filing ITR, an individual would sum up the income from various sources. Find out the total tax liability. Once total tax liability is identified, the TDS already deducted will be reduced along with the advance tax, if any, and the final amount, if positive, will be required to be paid as self-assessment tax. And in case of a negative amount, the tax department will refund the excess amount post processing the return. Now, another last question of today's topic: how to deposit the TDS? Tax deducted at source has to be deposited via income tax portal based on the TAN login. Direct tax payments facility has been migrated from OLTAS. Once again I repeat, OLTAS e-payment pay tax online to e-pay tax facility of e-filing portal. You have to click on e-pay tax option of income tax department on www.incometax.gov.in to make direct tax payments including TDS. For more information regarding the TDS, one can visit any CA, chartered accountant, any tax professionals, and he can clarify all his informations. That's all for today's. Thank you.